All right, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Jimmy T Podcast. Here after an exciting day, I am with Brandon.
It was a great day.
It was as because we were kind of this week was kind of going back and forth. We were talking about this show, kind of like it's kind of been a slow week.
Yeah, not too much happening.
Not too much has happened. I mean, the game against Temple, that was very good. Went on the road in Philly, like that was exciting for the men's basketball team. And then I was a little not a fan of the time of the basketball game today against Cincinnati because I was just the way I am, that I was like, listen, like we record at a certain time and this 3 p.m. start time is throwing a wrench into things.
Honestly, they should have consulted us.
Yes,
first.
they should have. They should have thought about what our show recording schedule was, but we ended up being flexible and we were rewarded for it.
More than rewarded.
Oh, yes, the American leading number 15 ranked in the country. Only one loss in the American so far this year. Cincinnati Bearcats came to town.
Oh,
And come to town they did.
they're leaving with heads down because we pulled out the win.
A massive win by the men's basketball team. What really was, when we talked about last week, it being that big week, this is continued. It's gonna be a stretch to finish out the season because this was that defining moment.
Yeah.
For Coach Dawkins,
Oh,
because it
absolutely.
just takes that one win, that one big win, to kind of just be the difference, to kind of hang your hat on and be like, look at that.
Like, it was just a perfect way to end the normal season.
Yes.
Like, literally perfect.
Yes,
Couldn't
even
imagine
though I
better.
will note that we only have one more game left in the regular season, but this was the last home game as it was senior night,
Yeah.
as it was emotional, but there weren't many seniors.
Not too many, which is a good thing.
Yes, which is good because it was only Matt Williams, Banyard, and Tank. Were all of our seniors, and so we said goodbye to them for their last home game with all nice ceremonies beginning of the game. It was very nice. And then the game started, and that's when we decided to ball out as a team.
I don't know, like, we were talking about it, and it was just, we felt comfortable.
Yes.
And just comfortable. We dominated. We controlled it.
Yeah, and that was the thing, is that Cincinnati's a fantastic team, and they'll most likely make some decent noise in the March Madness tournament next month. And UCF was well within their rights to be as close as it was and competitive as it was to play with them. They looked like they should be there, and that was exciting to see because it was like that. It wasn't like they were throwing everything they had into that game.
And like nobody had a ridiculous game. You know, BJ Taylor.
Yeah, he had a ridiculous
He had
game.
27 points,
Yes.
career high for him. That three at the end.
Oh, that three was amazing.
One of the most clutch things I've seen.
Oh, that's this game by far is my best UCF like athletics moment I've been a part of.
Honestly, the best UCF moment.
Yeah, it's right up there because it just was one of those times that, like, yeah, a lot of people have their teams, and a lot of teams have made accomplishments. I mean, UCF's made accomplishments. They've even had some while we've been here.
Yeah.
But to be able to see them in person, I think for me that's kind of what made this one a little different and a little more special. And I cannot be the only one that feels that way because a lot of people are kind of in the same spot as us. They sat through a horrible football season last year, then a mediocre season this year, and then also with basketball, just kind of being the same consistent cycle of there being promise, there being some solid players, and it going nowhere.
Yeah, I would definitely say it was a better season, but especially during the middle, it just kind of like stagnated,
Yep.
very slow. We had a couple losses, but we said that we wanted them to come out
Yep.
strong, finish strong, do it for the fans, do it for them,
Yes.
do it for Dawkins, and boy, they delivered.
They did, and it was exciting, and it felt rewarding to see as we've kind of covered them this season, because you kind of see that, like, they had the strong starts, like you said, they had a rut, and it was kind of where a lot of teams in the past for UCF, a lot of these kind of same players were on these teams too, that it kind of started to drift, and they just let it drift, and then it ended up just being all over the road and was an ugly finish, and there was no talk of March at all. Well, the Knights definitely today,
They showed up.
yes, they showed up and could have potentially very easily sealed their fate to have some postseason play that we've talked about. And this is something that I want to look this. Okay, yes, they did get their 19th win tonight.
19.
That is exciting because I said at the very beginning of the season, 20 was the number I wanted them to get to, and they were one
Going to USF?
they're one game at USF away from that 20, and maybe even a American Athletic Conference tournament run to March Madness, because
The way we play today, it's not far-fetched at all.
because Cincinnati is the best team in the American right now. So if you're able to beat them on your good day, who's to say that this isn't a momentum to carry you right into this tournament? You win what, 3 games? Then you get to go to the tournament. We'd be dancing. That'd be a ton of fun to cover.
That'd be
I would
incredible.
love to do shows about that, and it would totally ruin my brackets this year.
Oh, I would have UCF winning it.
Of course. How could you
Hands down.
not have a bracket as a person like that to be able to do that?
And that's what March Madness is all about, that Cinderella
Yes.
story.
And that's why this was such an amazing win today, because it gave that, and it gave that hope. It gave just
that
that
fire.
excitement, that fire, because it's not. It's a little different to beat Cincinnati. Like you say it's number 15 Cincinnati. We beat them like the first game or so, like in the season, like for the American. And like that's exciting, and we probably still do storm the court and everything. Like that's exciting, but it won't be as like impactful. Maybe we even don't storm the court, but like it wouldn't be as impactful because teams have not played their schedule yet. So you don't know what team is out there that gets these early rankings, and
Exactly.
they have their fun preseason tournaments.
Early on, it's, it fluctuates
Yes.
24/7. But like you brought up, today, storming the court,
Yes,
That-
definitely, because this is up there for UCF wins, because the last big win that I think I remember was Memphis a while ago, and that was what we talked about a couple weeks ago. The last time we had beaten Memphis, which was like one of those like signature big wins,
like the big
yes,
landmark wins for UCF
yes.
basketball.
And that's what today was for
Oh,
against
absolutely.
Cincinnati.
This is
And
something that we're going to remember.
Oh,
The players,
yes.
fans,
Yes.
Dawkins. The last couple minutes of the game, you just saw him getting fired up on
Yes.
the sidelines, all the players pumping up the crowd. It was
Yes, and it was like a line of them with
was
Dawkins right at the
electric.
front.
He was just leading
going
them.
like that to get the crowd to get louder and louder, and that was the loudest I've heard the arena ever.
and then people just started surging, pushing forward, just waiting.
Yes.
And then, that guy on Cincinnati when he missed that dunk.
Oh, because Cincinnati could have tied it up
Yeah.
very easily. Like it was tied. Like it's just
That
like,
it should have been tied at that point.
yes,
But then Taco gets the board.
Yep.
He gets fouled, and he just
drains both free throws.
He was smiling. He knew it too.
Yes, he had that look on his face, like yeah.
And he got some. He was getting knocked around earlier, and
Yes,
he
he
kept his
was.
composure real
Yes,
well.
that was
So,
I was very proud of him.
Perfect
to see
from
that.
Taco, and yeah,
Yeah.
he was bleeding.
Yeah, he had to get taken out of the game because the ref saw that like he was bleeding and a bunch of other stuff, and his lip was still red for the rest of the game.
Whole game, you could see it on the free throws even, but he just really, really showed up today. A lot of guys did too. Matt
Yes.
Williams, he was hustling the whole game. He had some very important steals, rebounds.
Yes, there was one because it was kind of the last 7 minutes probably, or 11 even. It was a back and forth. There weren't a lot of points scored in this game.
It was very defensive.
53-49 is not a very high scoring game, and it just was really back and forth. Like it just was a hole. It was in a hole. It was a defensive standstill. And it was back and forth, and then there was like a couple minute stretch where that's kind of what sealed it for UCF, was where it kind of got down to the last minute, and that's when they really grabbed on to the win. And one of them was Matt Williams. I think he was a part of one of the turnovers that they had. Hustles back down the court, punches the ball out from behind, and we end up getting the turnover from that, and just the more momentum to swing
It was
in that
huge,
way.
gets everybody fired up, just brings that momentum, just makes the guys want to win
Yes.
so much more.
Yes.
When you see your senior on senior night, last home game, just going out there and giving it 100%.
Yes,
It
getting
was amazing.
hoisted up and everything by the
Oh.
crowd as they storm the court.
I was holding him up. It was, he put all of us on his back this
Yes.
season. The least we could do was lift him up.
Yes, exactly. And you ended up also getting a picture with the man of the night,
BJ Taylor.
B.J. Taylor.
It was phenomenal. We were lifting him up. I saw him. congratulated BJ, got a
Yep.
picture with him. And it was just incredible to see how excited he was.
Yes,
And
because you could see from him he wanted this game.
oh, yeah, he just
Badly.
took control. And
Yes.
It was great.
And then that 3 at the end, killer instinct, is exactly what that was, because it, like you said, it was one of those clutch things you've ever seen, and it was, because it just was running the clock down, and then dagger.
and attack.
Yep, just dagger, and that's what ended up doing it. And it was interesting at the very end was when you said Taco got those free throws, is if Cincinnati, if you tell them before the game, you say, hey, pick a UCF player you want to be on the free throw line at this point when you're trying to get back into the game. Who are you going to pick?
All of them are going to say Taco.
Oh, 110% Cincinnati says Taco. Makes both of them to seal the game. That's impressive, and it just was happy for me to see, and kind of like Dawkins the other week when he just had that emotion in the locker room after that away game, because he's kind of like they're getting over the hump, where it wasn't necessarily at that point, it wasn't very much like it was a huge win, like they weren't beating I love that I'm snobby enough to say it's not a huge win now, like beating a number 15 in the country, but it just was one of those moments where he could see it, because that guy has to be the biggest fan, because he gets to see these guys every day.
Every single day.
Yes, like and so to kind of see that moment, and then to have that again today after having those strides, I can only imagine how excited he is as a coach and a fan of them.
The work that Dawkins has put in this season, and now going out like this,
Yes.
I think this is going to do amazing things for our program.
Wow, like it's something that it's you never want to like fully jump, but for him, for first year with not even his players, wow. I mean,
He's going to hit that 20 wins most likely.
Taking what was, I'll look it up, was UCF men's basketball wins last year. It had to have been 14.
Might have even been less.
Yeah, it was not. It was not good.
And, like you were talking earlier about the, like, earlier seasons, just kind of get into that lull and then just kind of fall off.
And that was a main reason why Coach Dawkins was brought in, and there was an opening for a job, was because his predecessor, Donnie Jones, it just had too many stretches of just not good. They were 12-18 last year. To turn around with pretty much the exact same players and sit at a 19-10 record,
just shows what an incredible coach that he is.
Like I feel like we've only sang his praises, and even coaches like Coach Frost, we've only been singing these new coaches' praises, but maybe that's something that, like, what UCF was kind of harping on was, look at how our new coaches have done. Like,
all of them have done incredibly well.
All of them have done fantastic.
Baseball, they're starting out 7-0.
Yes, exactly. And that's something that Coach Dawkins has been almost the golden standard of it, because I think out of all the new coaches, he has, outside of Lovelady right now, he'll finish with a winning record. But don't hold me to that at all. But it's something that he's going to be the golden standard of this, to kind of say, wow, like, that's amazing. And maybe basketball could end up being a lot bigger here at UCF, because the issue with fans isn't whether or not they want to go. They just want to go see something competitive.
Exactly. And if they see what we did today, the people that weren't there, they're going to regret it, and they're going to want to be a part of that next year.
If there's somehow with the NIT that we get, because I think because there's not, like, locations they go to, I believe the higher seed or lower seed, whatever, like the higher ranked seed gets to host one of the games. If we get to have one of those games, it's going to be absolutely nuts.
It'd be crazy.
Oh, it'll be such an amazing atmosphere that'll rival, like, football at some of its high points.
Oh,
and
I absolutely believe that.
Yeah,
especially indoors.
Oh, yes.
Because the crowd today was not even just the student section. Everybody else was just crazy and just loving it.
CFE was half full, and it felt full. It was exciting to see, because it like, especially the UCF side, like, not necessarily the student section, but the side of the arena was full, all the way to the top. And that's something that it was awesome to see. And it just, I guess, like, for us, like, normally a handful of these games, we'll go to them and it's like the day after. Like, for us, we're just fresh off this game, and it just was amazing.
Just the energy that has just carried. I don't know. I just haven't stopped smiling, haven't stopped feeling just electric.
Because it was awesome. It really was. And it just for me, it's like, what bad could you say about the game? I mean, there were turnovers, but
not a few, and then the players hustled back.
Yeah,
really grinded it out.
And that was the thing. Like, we talked about a guy like Matt Williams. He had a turnover, hustles down, and ends up forcing another one.
And he made up for it immediately.
Yes, and there was the thing where a lot of players where they weren't able to contribute in the ways that they normally could, like a Matt Williams. He didn't have a great scoring stat line, but you could see his impact throughout the game.
Oh, 100%.
And then you could see also that with A.J. Davis, where he had a handful of plays, kind of like what he's done, make some impact plays, but then a lot of other ones that were off-the-ball impact plays that were huge. And then a guy that just wanted this game badly for the seniors was B.J. Taylor. Goodness, he's going to be on SportsCenter tonight, and rightfully so.
He's probably on SportsCenter right now.
Oh, probably. I'm probably going to go after we're done with this, go back and be like, is it on SportsCenter? Is it on SportsCenter?
Try to find ourselves just storming onto that court.
Oh, I mean, I did end up making the UCF Facebook video, so if you want to go check out the UCF Knights video of storming the court, I am there. Just look for my blue Rays hat and this shirt, actually.
Or check out any of the amazing pictures that we've posted courtesy of Leland.
We'll have a crap ton of them on the website, UCF365.com. There will be an amazing amount, and especially amazing pictures as well to go with them, because Leland does an awesome job when he goes out there and shoots the games.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, he got plenty of pictures for this game, I can assure you. And so we'll definitely be posting them on our own social media, but definitely they'll be on the website. Check that out and share it with whoever you want, because it'll be a lot of awesome sights to see.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
Yes. But then to finish out the season, I think next weekend we might be in the thick of the American tournament, because I think it's next weekend.
Yeah, that'd be quick, but coming off of this, I don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all, and that's something that next week's show I'm going to see when the American tournament specifically is, because if it's over by Tuesday, we'll have to adjust on the fly a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that's what we'll have to work with. But that is the next. That's not the full next stop, as they still need to go down to Tampa to play the Bulls and hopefully get that last punch in for the War on I-4 to extend that lead even more.
Yeah,
as it was 27-15 the last I saw.
Yeah, I think so. And then I don't even know if USF's going to have their full team. Some of them are trying to escape.
Oh, goodness. That was a story this week that was hilarious. Was that, if you haven't seen it, that USF ended up leaving 2 of their players.
Not 1, but 2.
2 asleep at the airport after their game against Tulsa this past week.
It was, hey, they must really not like USF.
Oh, my goodness. Like, are you kidding me?
Like,
I think one of them, Thorpe, is one of their better players. So, like, how are you not? Like, we're not
Don't sleep on him.
We're not leaving B.J. Taylor at the airport.
We're not leaving anybody.
No, we're not leaving anybody at the airport, but we're sure as you-know-what not leaving.
I don't know, like, ever since kindergarten, we've been sounding off before any field trip, and now you just leave 2 of your players?
Yeah, like, what do you, like, seriously, like, I don't even think that, like, there's going to be some person out there that's going to be like, oh, like, the players need to be aware of whatnot and everything. So, like, okay, whatever. But no, like, who is one of the team managers? They pay people for this
Somebody's
stuff.
job is to make sure that they all move from point A to point B.
How do you miss 2? And then they're
At least they had a buddy.
Oh, goodness. And so then they're like, oh, like, we realized before we left, like, the gate, but we couldn't come back, that we couldn't get them on the flight. No, they should have been on the flight, because you shouldn't have left them. And that's something that USF's basketball program is in shambles now. And not only because their record this season, but they've had academic violations. They've had to fire their coach for a lot of other issues. And now they're leaving players at the airport.
Or they're escaping. We're not sure yet.
Who knows? I mean, I don't know if they want to go back to UCF, and if USF, they want to come to UCF. But to go back to USF, I mean, I don't know. Is Oklahoma really worth it to not have to go back to USF?
Might be.
It might be. I don't know how bad it is.
Have you seen the football stadium?
Oh wait, there isn't a football stadium on campus.
So
how unfortunate. But no, that was definitely a story. If you want to read it a little bit more in depth, you can find it, because that is the only noteworthy thing the basketball team at USF has done this season. But some other noteworthy news for sports for the Knights this week was, we'll talk about it briefly before I just got remembered, the track team, women's track team.
Yeah, absolutely. They clinched the American Athletic Conference title.
They are the champions. That is the first trophy this year under Danny White, the new athletic director. So that's exciting.
And based off the track record of all the other sports, first of many.
Yes.
Danny White's going to bring in a lot of trophies. So definitely big shout out to the ladies on the team.
Yes. Congratulations, because that's
amazing.
Awesome.
They're champions.
Yeah, champions. Like, there's almost only so many people can say that in their athletic careers, especially when you're at a university like UCF. That, like, I mean, anywhere, a championship's not a given. Like, for
they
these
have to earn
places.
it. There's some very athletic track teams in the American Athletic Conference.
Yes, and so that's fantastic that they're able to do that, and congratulations. Well, yeah, that's awesome. And then another huge go with that theme this week was, there was a massive donation to the athletics program this week, $5 million, and what will eventually range up to about over $7 million in total when it's in its completion. Ken Dixon was the name.
Yeah.
He is
proud alumni.
Yeah, he's actually the accounting school is named after him here in the School of Business. So he will now have an athletic village named after him, as his donation is going towards all of that, which we ended up seeing a video at the basketball game today kind of detailing it for the most part, was showing that it's going to really change how the athletics is here. And it was something that I was almost kind of, I don't know if I fully understood, like,
their vision,
what exactly they were wanting to do with this. And it looks
amazing.
It looks fantastic.
Not only do I think that it will help our athletes get better facilities and stuff, but one thing that I was curious about was how it was going to impact the fan experience, and a lot of it seemed to just really help us out. A new plaza, to just kind of make a centerpiece for all of our athletics, and just have a go-to place to go before games and stuff, whether it's soccer, football, basketball, increased the stadium at the track and field / soccer stadium. That looked real cool.
Yeah, and it just looked like everywhere was getting the love. And we talked about baseball. Baseball. They've reached their now fundraising goal. So that new baseball stadium is going to be a thing, and that was shown in the video as well. And so it was just kind of exciting to see that, like, a $5 million just like care package was thrown at the athletics department, and it is it's exciting as a fan, and I'll be a UCF fan for as long as I live, as it's my university. So it's kind of to see that that's going to draw in even greater talent to this school, because they're going to want to be at fantastic facilities. They're going to be at a nutrition place, like, I don't know, like a nutrition building. Like there was
like
one of those things. They'll have like a leisure pool, like or something like that. Like, I don't even know. It was
the Recovery Cove.
A Recovery Cove. My bad. But it just was a lot of amazing things like that, and it was like, wow, that's gonna be at UCF.
Yeah, I think it's good because we're really, especially under Danny White, like we said, we're bringing in amazing talent.
Yes, best of the best.
And now they have those world-class facilities. Hopefully, that will just really harbor that talent.
Yes.
And then just make us even better at athletics as we have been this season.
Yeah, and that will I wasn't able to track down the videos they posted. I'm sure it'll be up and running. They may want to try and like make the video a little nicer for the public to see, and that'll be something we'll definitely talk about in the future as we kind of break down parts of the new athletic village to see what we're gonna like. But it was definitely some exciting news, and it kind of capped off what was a fun event in the basketball game today. That definitely, if you missed out on it, you definitely missed out on quite a day.
It was honestly, words just can't describe what happened today.
Yes, and all that makes me hope is that basketball is able to continue this, and a lot of other sports like football are going to be able to follow in suit, because that was something that that kind of made me want that. I'm like, why can't I have every other sport do this? So like you're seeing like
one by one.
We joked about like Milton being there, but like that's the thing. Like if he sees that, like I want that. I want people to like storm the field like for a UCF football game, like 'cause we had such a huge win and such an amazing
just feel
accomplishment.
that passion and
yes,
that
to
drive,
get that passion because the fans want to be that passionate.
And we saw that today, that they
Yes.
really want it and they are that passionate.
Yes, they just need something to be passionate about because mediocre teams, there's no reason to be passionate about them. And what Coach Dawkins did today with the men's basketball team, along with B.J. Taylor, because Dawkins and Taylor get the equal credit for this, is that mediocre is not good enough anymore. And they showed that today. And that's something that hopefully they make a statement and make a run in the American tournament and make March a little bit more fun.
UCF in basketball and athletics is here.
Yes, and that will definitely be a developing story. And as you saw this week, we did debut our new website, UCF 365, where the show will now be hosted on. And it is not the Jimmy T Podcast's website. Jimmy T Podcast is a part of UCF 365 and will eventually down the line be home for Jimmy T Podcast, and then a lot of other shows and content creators to be able to come, and it'll be by students for students, and it'll be quality content for just come here. It'll be one-stop shopping for amazing videos,
best of the best.
Yes,
by UCF students and for UCF students because we're passionate about it. This is what we love.
Yep.
This is our school, so we're just driven just to really just put it out there.
Yep, and that is exactly what this website is about, and this will be the place to get our content. And so make sure to catch us on social media as we'll continue to promote the website, promote the show, and comment, interact with us. That's something
we want to know what you guys like.
Yes, that's something we want to do. Like, what were you at the game? Like, that's a lot of stuff. Like, let's talk about it. Like, it's a lot of great stuff going on. There's a lot of great stuff to continue. And so it'll be something exciting. We may even do a listener March Madness bracket.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun to have a listener tournament, kind of all of us together. That would be a lot of fun to see if we can get people to be down for that. So that'll be something to check out in the future as we'll put out more over social media. And like I said, don't forget to check us out. And it's been another episode of the Jimmy T Podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Brandon.
We'll see you next time.